In and out. Stay focused on your breath. Now on the count of 3, we're going to bring our awareness back to the room. 1, 2, 3.
This is Jen. She is 10 years sober today. She juggles 3 part-time jobs while attending weekly sessions with her 12-step group and single parenting her 9-year-old son, Hiro. She's got a lot on her plate, but she manages to keep it all together. Oh, she's also the caregiver for her dying mother, Fumiko, who is one prickly lady.
Good morning, Mom.
No banana?
How did you sleep?
I haven't slept since 1974.
Oh, no wonder you have cancer.
One night, Fumiko's condition suddenly takes a turn for the worst. With the end now seemingly near, she confesses to Jen that back in Japan, she had another baby, a boy, whom she gave up for adoption. And as her dying wish, Jen's mother asks her to find this long-lost son named Masaru so they can reunite before she passes. Masaru is the picture of perfection. He's an award-winning investigative journalist and an out-and-proud gay advocate. He's everything that Jen should have been. Rich, successful, pseudo-famous, annoyingly in touch with his Japanese heritage. And he happens to be in town on a book tour. Jen's 12-step sponsor advises against contacting Masaru, but Jen's curiosity is insatiable. She goes to Masaru's book signing, but she chickens out and doesn't tell him who she actually is. And she's also not willing to disappoint her mom, so Jen lies and says that Masaru has agreed to visit. And the next day, Fumiko's health notably improves. Desperate not to fail her mother again, Jen orchestrates a coincidental meeting with Masaru, and the 2 half-siblings hit it off. But over and over again, Jen avoids telling him who she really is, because deep down, Jen is terrified that if her mother meets this perfect other child, she won't need Jen anymore. So when Masaru reveals a dark secret from his past, Jen learns that maybe he is not so perfect after all.
I'm just happy he's got issues like the rest of us.
In her obsessive quest to develop this relationship with Masaru, Jen starts to let the important things in her life slip. She stops attending 12-step meetings. She gets fired from her job. She doesn't even notice that her son is being bullied in school. And when all her lies come to a head and Masaru finds out who she really is, he is pissed. So Jen tells the truth. She needs to bring him home to meet her mother, his birth mother. But Masaru refuses and says he never wants to see Jen again. So Jen is forced to come clean and tell her mother that Masaru is not coming.
Did you tell him I am dying? That it would only be the one time?
He doesn't care.
That what he said?
Mom, why does it matter? You gave him up. Why is he so important to you?
Because he was my first baby.
No! I was your first baby. I'm sorry I didn't turn out to be the perfect, successful child you always wanted, but I'm the one who's here now.
Jen storms out of Fumiko's room, and that evening, Fumiko dies of grief. When Jen discovers that her mother has passed, that she missed her mother's final moments, that's when everything finally hits her. It hits her hard, and she relapses on a bottle of wine. After several days in bed, Jen realizes that she relapsed long before she touched that wine. It was when she chose to chase the seemingly perfect phantom other child, and that through her self-destructive downhill spiral, all she wanted was to tell her mother that she loves her. As Jen scatters her mother's ashes into the Pacific Ocean, she finally learns to let go of all her unmet expectations and self-doubt, and trust that she and her mother did love each other, even if they showed it in different ways.
As a mother who has struggled with mental illness and addiction and is always second-guessing what I'm doing with my life, my 30-something years of emotional life experience are the heart of this story.
Something About the Tide is a striking and darkly funny portrayal of human fallibility. It reminds us that even when we prepare for life in every way possible, we're never fully aware of our hidden vulnerabilities. I'm thrilled to be directing this remarkable film, and to bring its visual journey to life. The story begins in a world that is composed and steady, with long, confident shots of Jen in her day-to-day life. And as she loses sight of her recovery and her grounding, the film starts to feel tighter, pressured, more myopic, and uneasy. We're with Jen the entire time. We're inside her head, and we're feeling what she's feeling.
I fell in love with Desdemona the moment that I met her. I knew that she needed to direct this film. With over 20 years of experience as a theater director, Des is a master of story and performance. And those two elements are what this film relies on. In the few years since expanding into film and TV, Des is already an alumnus of the prestigious AFI DWW Plus program, as well as the Sundance and Film Independent Fellowship programs. Ashley Song is the co-owner of Desert Island Studios in Portland, Oregon, and is attached as our lead producer.
I strive to tell stories that center and uplift experiences we don't typically hear about in mainstream media. Something About the Tide will be filmed in Portland, Oregon. Oregon is a film-friendly state with a competitive tax incentives program, and we've already confirmed our project with the State Film Office. We're also working with producer Annie Tonsiengsum and Portland-based production company Actual Industries, with an impressive resume of clients such as Nike and shows like Iron Chef on Food Network.
With Something About the Tide, my goal is to fulfill a lifelong creative pursuit of helping others feel less alone. This story was written for Asian Americans, millennials, mothers, addicts, both in and out of recovery, and those of us who have learned to mask our daily struggles with mental health. I just described myself, didn't I?
The first time I read Julia's script, the story just gut punched me in a way that I did not expect. When I was a kid, I found out that I was a product of an unplanned pregnancy, which my mother had planned to terminate, but changed her mind at the last minute. So for a long time, I grew up with a running narrative in my head that I was unwanted, even though my mom's behavior indicated nothing of the sort. We're actually closer than best friends. So this film, to me, is also really personal. Most folks want to make their parents proud, but for some of us, it's a little deeper. We want to prove that we weren't a mistake.
I tend to write deeply flawed characters through a lens that is both dramatic and comedic, because sometimes life is hard, and we're not always the best that we can be. Connecting with others through that heaviness and maintaining a sense of humor is how I keep going. And I think there are a lot of people who can relate to that. Even when your best might not be that good, you are still deserving of love and belonging. I forgot that Des put that line in there.
That's what we feel.
That's it. That's the end of it.